obnoxious, overly.
I didn't say it was loud. Oh, shit.
Let me see. Because since I'm upstairs, I have my 3 monitors for work, so I wonder if I can turn them on. That'll give me some light at least. Yeah, see, now I'm blue again, see? Then I get out of that, and I go to this dark, stupid-looking orange. What I can do for light. Yeah, this is going to be the problem, because the light's actually behind. Alright, hold on. I think what we'll do is... fix this just real quick.
It's a cool shirt.
Thanks. So much more light. There we go. It's not a whole lot better.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Let me see here. There's filters you could put on. I wonder if that would help.
Might. I'm just trying to get both monitors to run really bright.
Try a video filter, because that might fix your problem without having to.
Okay.
If you go to like virtual backgrounds, it's like right next to it. It says video filters.
Looking at filter.
The first one says boost. So I wonder if that would work. I'm actually going to try it myself.
Get my skin to look cleaner.
What did boost do? The first
So,
one next to none.
I'm on boost right now. So if I do none, it looks like this. If I do boost, it looks like this. If I do Nor, it looks like this. Cinnamon. I dated a girl one time who couldn't say cinnamon. She would say cinnamon. I kid you not. 23 years old, and she would say cinnamon. Cream. Seafoam. This stupid shit.
Boost didn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad.
That's what I'm on right now. I mean, you know what? Hold on 1 second. I didn't even think about this.
And I try to hold my head that I remember that I'm blessed. What the fuck is this?
How do I look now?
Same.
Oh.
But
I was like, because
it works though.
I was like, I minimized the screen, so like the screen in front of me now is just pure.
No, it works. It's fine.
Okay. I mean, this is. I guess this is just how we'll have to do it on this one.
Yeah.
I can get it. I can do something. I think the problem is my lights are here, whereas when I'm downstairs, the lights the lights are in front of me. So I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Maybe we'll look into something just to hit you up a little bit. But
Yeah, I mean, I can always get like something to put. Like I keep, but time the final season, whatever this is whatever it's called. I'll have a camera that I can put up here. When I can do that, I've also been looking into getting one of those ring lights. Actually,
yeah, I may get into. But just getting, I got like a cheap little $25 Amazon camera, and
yeah.
it did wonders for me. What's up, Jen? What's up, Kev? Damn, I keep
Oh,
meaning.
we're on the.
Yeah, I sent you the chat. The clerk of
I am so
county.
sorry, guys.
You're
I
fine.
am not on the chat yet. I'm very behind. My computer decided to do a random update, so everybody, I'm very sorry. All of this 100% my fault as usual.
Kevin, I need to ask you how you do those outlines for the videos. And I saw you were talking about Restream, where Colton, did I tell you Unholy Kev in the chat? He streams Warzone and shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's Unholy Kev on Twitter. He streams Warzone and stuff, but he has like cool graphics that I want, like where our border around like our video has like,
Uh-huh.
you know, if it's fucking blood or something or whatever.
Follow him. I mean, I play Call of Duty
Yeah.
pretty much every day right now. So
And
only like an hour. I'm
yeah.
horrible, but
Jen, what's up? Colton still hates Harry Potter, by the way, unfortunately.
I don't fucking hate Harry Potter. Oh my god. Shit, I'm so sorry.
You know what's funny? Sean messaged me afterwards too. He was like, "You tell that Colton if I ever see him in the streets."
Okay, Sean, all 90 pounds of you. Let's fight. Where's he on right now?
That's funny.
Jen, I won't fight you. You can destroy me, so don't worry. Do I sound okay up here? Like,
Yeah.
is my audio sounding weird?
No.
Sounds good?
It sounds good.
The camera was, I mean, it is what it is, but obviously audio matters more in this situation, so that was my biggest concern.
Yep. So I figure we'll do New Blood, the trailer.
Okay.
And I went to go back to look at my notes for the episode. I really don't have much.
I have like,
If you have more, awesome. You pick me up when I fall down and vice versa, because
mine's more questions.
so
And I'm not trying to.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Sorry.
so let me see here. Jen is saying your audio is really low. Victor is louder. Hold on, like I maybe could change that.
Okay.
There we go. Speak now, Colton.
Speaking, talking.
Yeah, you definitely are low. Say it again.
Speaking, talking. Words. Talking.
Yeah, I don't know why you're so low. Yeah, you're definitely. It's definitely your mic in
Okay, let me check some of my settings. Really quick.
She goes, maybe it's because you don't like Harry Potter.
Vimomos. Adios.
God.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, that's great.
Victorious. Adios. I don't know.
I think-
don't know.
You're definitely lower.
Let me check. Let me just check a couple of my settings. Hold on one second.
Oh, I don't think you're that low. Let me see. I'm trying to hear myself. I don't think you're that low. Oh, you're definitely lower than me, but
devices. USB.
while Colton's doing that, Jen, if you have the time, definitely check out that video we were talking about last week, the Dexter retrospective. It's by this guy Slipmaker on YouTube, and the reason why I'm saying that is because we're actually going to have him on next week. And I think he just does. I only watched up to season 3, and he does a fascinating job of just like cutting out all the fat. Like what took us, I guess, me, Colton, and Marissa. God, what are we up to? Episode 80, 92, 91, and countless hours. He did in like 80 minutes
Yes.
of just like whatever. But obviously, his videos are meant to do that. But I think he has some good stuff, and I think it'll be really cool too. And I would love to like get his take on like what the new season is. I'm gonna bring this up in the episode with him, but like there was a time I was doing a Dexter podcast and 6 Feet Under podcast in the same week, and it was like I'm fucking sick of Michael C. Hall. Like I don't ever want to see this guy again.
How do I sound? Do I sound any different by any chance?
Talk again.
Talking.
Yeah.
Communication.
You're actually a little bit lower, and I can't.
What?
Yeah, but see, you sound fine. You're a little low on. Oh, let me try this. Yeah, let me try this here. Here. Hello.
Hello. Talking.
Hello.
Hello. Talking.
Okay, I think that's all.
Dexter, Michael C. Hall.
You should be better now.
Storylines.
Yeah, you should be better
Nobody
now.
cares about Masuka. It doesn't matter.
You should be better now because I upped the internet audio.
I really hate how dark I am. Like
Racist alert.
Oh God, Jen hates me for Harry Potter, and now I'm being accused of racism. Ah!
Put it on the front page of the podcast news. Colton doesn't like being dark. Yeah, she said you sound way better. I think it was something on my end for whatever reason.
Okay.
All right, you want to get into it?
Yeah. Actually, let me resupply my drink supply.
Yep.
And give me like 2 seconds. My root beer. Okay. All right, now I'm ready.
All right.
Actually, I really like this setup. Being up here, not gonna lie.
All right, I'm going to start recording on Zencaster. You're all good, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Jen.
Show off.
Show off. Oh my God. All right, ready?
Oh, Jen had to go make the Texas comment. Nice. It's unfortunately not completely untrue. So, yeah.
Sorry, I was replying to Kev. All right, I'm going to start Zencaster. All right, we're now recording. All right, if you're ready.
Yep.
This is Victor, and now that he's done with his meal at the sports bar restaurant, I'm joined by my co-host, Colton. Colton, hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad I enjoyed my meal at the restaurant. The fried chicken platter, a breast and a thigh.
You know, if you didn't have a daughter, there were so many other ways I could go with that. But anything I wanted to say, it's like, I can't say that. Like, it's not even remotely funny. But here we are, episode 807, dress code. This episode sort of like others, it's going to be really interesting to go back and listen to these episodes if anyone does, because we're getting like drip fed information about New Blood, and it seems like every other week we have like something else to talk about. So we got a trailer this week. I guess this is the official trailer. It even says so on the video. And the first one was a teaser. Apparently, this one is a trailer,
Yes.
and we definitely get a lot of information.
A lot more.
Something I want to bring up before we get into that is next week, 8:08, Are We There Yet? We're going to have a special guest joining us, Slipmaker from his YouTube channel. If you search Slipmaker on YouTube, he does all these, we spoke about this last week, all these interesting retrospectives on TV shows where he sort of breaks everything down in like, you figure 96 hours or so of Dexter. He breaks it down into about 80 minutes, and it's really interesting. I'm only up to season 3. I'm only up to season 3, and I'm gonna watch the rest in one sitting. There's so much he brings up that I was like, that's what I've been trying to say for 91 episodes of this fucking podcast. So I think it's gonna be really interesting. I just want to hear. I always wonder, like, those people who make those videos, do you know how much time it probably takes editing? So Colton had his Boardwalk Empire podcast. People have no idea what goes into, like, well, I'm sure people do, right? Let's not make this sound like we're like fucking martyrs, but there's a lot of work.
No.
But it's still a lot of work for something that we're doing as a hobby, right?
I mean, yeah, I didn't. Boardwalk Empire, and the same with you with 6 Feet Under and with Dexter. We've literally lost money. So,
oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, like there's, but that's not what we're not in this for money, obviously, because if we were, we're the worst business people to ever exist.
Right,
so,
right.
But like what I realized, and I didn't know this going into it, I knew there was a lot that went into podcasting, but basically this is what I came to find out is whatever a podcast is, whatever the episode is. So say an episode is 60 minutes. Then that person that creates that podcast, more than likely they spent around triple that in editing,
right,
give or take, because you have to include the recording time. They have to listen to it all the way through. Then there's usually a second time that they have to do it because they have to edit and stuff like that. So give or take, it's about 3 times. When you work in video, I can't even imagine how much extra goes into that. It's got to be at least 4 to 5 times the amount. So yeah, and his stuff is exceptionally amazing.
Yeah, like his stuff is not low rent like this is. Like this is like ours. We are like a 5th grade play compared to his like college whatever or professional whatever. I'd be I'd be really interested to hear what he has to say about the entire thing. So
I'm excited. I'm very excited to have him on.
Yeah,
because I've watched it all the way through, and like what you've said is some of the stuff that we've, especially with you, because you've been obviously in the podcast from the beginning. Some of the stuff that you've said, like the way he says it, I guess, and the way he brings it up, it's just like that's exactly what Victor's talking about. And then it's like, on top of that, some of the other stuff, there's things that I never caught, and I was like, wait, Victor never. And you're way more. What is it? You're key on catching things, especially like the nitpicking aspects. Like I can be somewhat nitpicking, but you're better on the grand scheme of nitpicking.
I'm
like,
better at bitching.
It's like
I know what you mean. I know
stupid little like stupid little things. I'll be like, oh well, this isn't real. This isn't how this is done, or whatever. You're really good at picturing like the full picture nitpicks, which is great. He's this other level. I can't quite describe what he does.
No, it's like I said, he says things that I'm like, God, that's what I was trying to say, and he did it in like an 8-second clip. He like nuked everything I've been trying to say.
Yeah.
So again, we're gonna have him on next week for 8:08. I just think it's gonna, sort of good homework to watch his video, and it's a good recap if you're someone, looking for like a good. And you don't want to watch all 8 seasons, but also watch all 8 seasons and listen to the podcast. But if you don't want to do that, definitely check out his retrospective.
Yeah.
So, that being said, let's move on to the New Blood trailer. So they did sort of, there's like a blast this week where we got the trailer, and then did you see Michael C. Hall did like an interview with Entertainment Weekly where it's the photo shoot? Have you seen those photos floating around?
I've seen the photos. I'm not. I actually kind of like the photos, to be honest.
I like
with
the
you.
photos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The trailer, we can get into that, but no, the photos, I do. I actually like them. They're well done. They're very a blast back to like season 1, kind of. Yeah.
And you think about like it's funny
I
like
didn't read the interview though.
Dexter. Well, so I listened to it, and there's nothing. So I have to struggle every time, and I'm repeating myself. I have to struggle every time breaking down all this stuff because it's like this is all meant to be misleading and to be vague about it. And here we are, as where this podcast is focused on the Dexter show, and I try to keep it that much. But here we are, we're in a very weird spot where we're getting an 8 years after the fact revival. And while we're doing the podcast on the last season, we're also getting new information about the new show. People are far more excited about the new show, the new season, versus an 8-year-old terrible 807 dress code episode. So I say that to say I like to. There's probably way better people out there that will break down the new stuff. So when I like the Michael C. Hall interview, it was entertaining, but I just feel like all these actors, and this kind of goes into sports, they're really good at saying a lot while saying absolutely nothing.
Yes.
So, I refer to it as like coach speak. Coach, how did you think your team did out there? Well, we did good, and we're working on some things, and I think next week we're really going to get them, and it's a good week and whatever. And he could go on for 10 minutes just saying absolutely nothing while speaking. And I feel like that's some of what the press is. It's kind of like invigorating to like finally hear Michael C. Hall after 8 years and talk about the new whatever. So I just think that some of it is. I just didn't think the Michael C. Hall interview is worth bringing up anything here. The same stuff about how do you go from being Michael C. Hall to Dexter, and he has to autograph knives for people, whatnot. So that being said, there is one part of the interview that is worth noting.
Okay.
He said that there was 4 episodes that he enjoys the most and are worth watching heading into New Blood.
I saw something about this. Okay, but I didn't see what episodes it was.
So, and I don't think it's meant to be like these episodes are going to have to do with the new season. They're sort of doing this with Sopranos right now in terms of episodes to watch heading into the movie. But the 4 episodes Michael C. Hall mentioned was the first episode, the pilot, which we all know, it's just called pilot, and it, interesting episode. It's it's what almost everyone knows regarding Dexter.
It's a really, really good episode, actually. I mean, we can all agree like it's a very good episode. It gets you hooked.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's a great hook. The second episode he mentioned was episode 10 of season 1, called Seeing Red. And to refresh you really quick, that's the episode where Dexter sort of faints in the hallway when he opens the hotel room and there's so much blood, and that's where Dexter passes out. So that's that episode. Episode 310, which is from season 3, episode 10, Go Your Own Way. That's where the cat and mouse game of Dexter and Miguel really amps up. And at the end, they have to fight on the roof. Like, I got City fucking Hall. And the Skinner's watching over them, whatnot.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the last episode he mentioned was the season 4 finale, The Getaway, which is obviously where, spoiler alert, Rita dies and Dexter kills Trinity.
No,
I have to cough.
Oh, I didn't realize Rita dies at the end. Oh my god. Spoiler alert.
The only thing I found interesting is that is all seasons where Clyde Phillips was the showrunner before the switch. Most people would say that those are the 4 best seasons.
Yeah.
So there's some of that there.
Right.
So onto the trailer. We get a lot of background into what we think the new season is about. this is what I sort of have as a little synopsis based off the trailer. We're led to believe, this is at least my take in it, and you tell me where you would disagree.
Okay.
Dexter, aka Jim, is sort of enjoying his life in Iron Lake. You know, he does that funny thing. It's so funny to see Michael C. Hall, or rather Dexter, do anything besides be monotone. So when he's like, "Hey, Becca, Scott, go Hawks,"
He's like,
it's so funny just seeing, such a monotone character. So I'm led to believe in the way that they show his relationship with I'm led to believe his girlfriend is this season, Angela Bishop, the police lieutenant of the town. She pulls him over and you think it's like Dexter getting caught, but it's actually his girlfriend, and they start kissing. And when a series of murders happens, and we'll get into like that aspect of it, the itch for Dexter kind of comes back. The quote unquote dark passenger comes back. And that the quote unquote big bad this season seems to be capturing, kidnapping people, and then setting them free. Would you think that's kind of like a really quick gloss over, leaving out all the details, right?
Yeah.
So, and then as he's getting this need to kill again, Deb shows up, filling that like Harry role. When she even says like, "Hey, haven't you learned nothing?" Something I want to show here, and if you have anything to add while I'm pulling this up, feel free, Colton, because I'm doing something on the computer.
Well, and I don't want to say anything too much with that before you pull it up, because I do have something actually to say about her being what they've shown so far. I kind of am a little I'm not concerned, I guess, with what the trailer has shown so far. It's giving a lot to go on. We know that what the season takes place over the course of, what was it, 2.5 weeks or something like that?
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. So obviously there's going to be a lot that happens, which is really, that alone I do like to know. That's what Dexter's kind of done in the past, is each season is over the course. It's not a very long time period. So I do like that, knowing that going into it. But at the same time, there's some of the concerns obviously I have with how much Showtime is showing. Now, I don't work for Showtime. Victor doesn't work for Showtime. My concern that I'm kind of getting, and I'm not trying to be like a nitpicking negative Nancy in this situation, is they're showing a lot. They're giving away a lot in this, and I don't want to. I'm not going to try to go into it and be like, oh well, Harrison would be this age and blah blah. It's just they're releasing a lot of information, which for the fans to get them interested, obviously is great. Like, it's like super awesome, but at the same time, it's also like, well, now I kind of know some of this stuff going into it. In this trailer, some of the stuff that they're showing in it, I really like. There's also some other stuff which I'm kind of like, and I'm not. I'm gonna get.
It's the role we play. Go ahead, because I want to get into other stuff.
Well, okay, so. Oh, well, pull up what you're talking about before I become an asshole. Yeah.
So just for clarity's sake,
I am an asshole before I am an asshole.
You stole the joke from me, Colton. I was gonna say before I even pulled the photo up, you're an asshole. So when Deb shows up, first of all, I can very much see how someone would be confused. Is like, Deb's still alive, because they don't necessarily.
Are you gonna show the one? Are you gonna show the way she's on the ground with the with all the documents and like pointing and stuff?
So I looked at that. I don't know if that's 100% Deb, which is why I didn't want to go there.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yes.
Oh.
I just did a 100% thing, and then the photos are just, we don't know what she's looking at, so we don't know that. So whatever that could be, and it could be someone else, because it could be literally any other woman. They don't show her face. We're led to believe it's a woman, but it could be anybody else, and we don't even know what she's looking. And
oh my God! You know what I just now realized? Is Dexter's girlfriend is the chief of police. What happens if she does that?
Right. So that's what I mean. It could be
Dexter
Deb. It could be
dating
her.
his sister.
Right.
Oh, we get that incest factor again.
Which is honestly all I want to see in the new season. I just want incest. I want Iron Lake just to, as a town, just fuck each other. I want
Just
I want the
in,
I want the iron to fuck the lake. Just everybody.
just
So the
everyone be fucking.
I mean that's why Harrison comes back, right? So what I wanted to show was there's an interesting shot of the trailer, and it's very, mysterious, and I'm gonna have it take over the scene. The bottom is the first one of our stream, rather. The bottom is what taps at the door, and then the top is the person who's knocking on it. Do you know who this is, Colton? Or if you're just looking at it. So what my theory is, and I think this is the introduction of Deb, which goes back to I kind of hate how much they're showing us, but I guess it's good for episode 807 discussion. I think that's Deb knocking with the bullet that was stuck inside her from Oliver Saxon. And at the top, that's her in her, how we last saw her in her hospital gown. It's completely, this is me, tinfoil hat, just like, is that Deb on the floor looking at stuff or whatever? But to me, this is how they bring her back in terms of ghost Deb. Because, again, the last time we saw her is when Dexter, drops her, and she's still in her hospital gown because Dexter takes her from the hospital bed. And I feel like the bullet, but you know what? This could be just a random person, not even knocking on Dexter's door, fucking, has nothing to do with Dexter at all. So this is just, it's a one thing I was like, hey, you know what? I think this is clip worthy in terms of the podcast. And
that's an interesting capture of that. I did not catch that at all. So that's very, but then I'm the one that was out here like talking about the ice truck killer, that's what they're trying to go with, because you have a trucker let's talk about that though. The killer that's out there, which this part I'm actually okay with, is the killer that we're being at least aware of right now is kidnapping people by truck. I'm okay with this. I'm 100%. That's a real serial killer. None of this ice truck, like in the TV show, the ice truck killer with the painted fingernails and shit like that, Trinity and stuff like that. Those are like over dramatic serial killers, right? That is like what we think of, like, what is it in Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill and stuff like that, right? Like, that's what we think of. I mean, yeah, we have Ed Gein and stuff like that, but like your real serial killer wasn't that dramatic. This is what it looks like. Is somebody that is out there that's kidnapping people in their truck. They're able to drive around and then kill them. That's scary as shit.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And I'm okay with that. But then I made the observation. It was like, okay, ice truck killer, because it's a truck and they're in the ice and they're killing people. It's probably nothing, right? But I was just like, really, like, this is, I'm catching that. Victor's out here like really catching shit.
No, it's you know what? We are all speculating at the moment, right? Like, this is all whatever. So
I'm excited. I think this is going to be, this is not to cut you off. What we're seeing, the one thing I took away from this this trailer that I'm super stoked about, I think this is going to be the most realistic representation of an actual serial killer, and that's what I'm actually excited about. Like, none of this dramatic over the top stuff. I mean, it's a TV show, there will be dramatic over the top shit. It's Dexter, I get it. But we may actually have like an actual legitimate, like, hey, that's it. I would, if anybody has watched the TV show, oh my god, I completely lost my train of thought on this one. Holy shit.
Aging right before our ears, everybody.
I know.
Happens to me all the time.
I'm doing a Joe Biden right now and just deteriorating in front of the audience. Oh my god. True Detective.
Okay.
If you watch the first season of True Detective and who you find out the killer is and stuff like that, it's not like this big massive disguise and stuff like that. That's what I'm hoping happens out of this. I think that would be amazing. I personally think that would be amazing. I'm obviously all over the place on this. This is for people that have watched True Detective and stuff like that. I think it would be awesome. I would really like for something like that to happen where that's what we get. We don't get this over the top character. It's literally, oh my god, like 2 episodes before the end, Dexter's finding out, like, this is the person, this is how this happens. But I say that, but we also have like guns with lasers and shit on it. So I mean, who knows?
So I want to bring something up where you brought up in terms of realness regarding the serial killer. And Jen in the chat mentioned it to me during the week. And it's so funny. After she mentioned it to me, I started seeing it everywhere else. So, again, this is total speculation, just kind of going off whatever theory we can pull together from the trailer, right? As fans, this is like just what we do.
Hmm.
Sort of seems like someone picks up a girl, and then
Hmm.
we kind of think that same girl seems to escape some lair, and that's the sniper we see sort of hunting her down.
Right.
Jen brought this to my attention, and then once I just started seeing it everywhere else. This seems to mimic what they call the butcher baker, was a serial killer, Robert Hansen. And just really quick, grabbing the Wikipedia thing, because I don't know, I didn't get too much into it, but just it's sort of the basic, what this killer was about. Between 1971 and 1983 in Alaska, so right there you just picture snow, right?
And I know exactly the serial. I'm
Hans,
not trying to be like that guy, but yeah.
yeah. I'm sure if you know anything about like true crime stuff, this is probably one of the more notorious ones. But this guy, Robert Hansen, abducted, raped, and murdered at least 17 women in and around Anchorage, Alaska. He hunted many of them down in the wilderness with looks like a Ruger and a knife. So essentially, he would capture women and then set them free so he could hunt them. After a while,
Kind of.
raping and drug and whatnot. It sort of seems like that's the killer they're mimicking or kind of basing,
Hmm.
if that's even true, right? We'll gladly listen to this after season
really
whatever
quick.
ends. Go ahead.
Really quick, just to make him more scary, what he would actually do is he would kidnap women, he would drug them, and he actually had a Cessna, and he would fly them into the middle of nowhere and release them in the middle of nowhere to hunt them. That's even scarier. Just so I that's what I remember about him the most is I was like, holy shit, this guy was like in the air flying and dropping them off because he had a plane that could like land in the like lakes and stuff like that up there, and he would just release them in the middle of fucking nowhere and then hunt them. It's fucking scary as shit.
So
Sorry.
no. It's worth bringing it up because
That matches this guy. Like what we're
right,
seeing.
what
That's
we're
what
seeing, it
matches him.
seems to match, and that's sort of because I think even what's her name? I think her name is Angela Bishop on the show, but I forget. Dexter's girlfriend in the trailer. She sort of says there's no rhyme or reason to it, and there's always a reason behind it. That's what I think sort of ticks Dexter's gear, so to say. So I thought it was worth bringing up because that was a really great point by Jen. And then once I saw her say that again, everyone. Something to keep in mind, like you said before, the show does take the showrunners mentioned that the show takes place over 2 weeks.
Mhm.
In the trailer, Dexter I don't even know how he cuts his hand, but he crosses off December 9th, which is a Thursday. Because we know there's a Christmas tree at the end of the trailer, which we'll get to. So for whatever I'm sorry, December 9th, a Thursday, he crosses off. I'm sorry if that's what I said. Something I also saw from one of the show, I guess it was Clyde Phillips, but it might have been someone else, said that regarding the Dexter show as a whole, you can't have a show without a father-son relationship, which is interesting because, you kind of had the Dexter-Harry thing, and then you had Dexter and Harrison. Obviously,
Okay, fair enough.
going into the new season, now we know, Harrison's going to play a big role. There's a new shot of Jamie Chung, who plays the true crime podcast reporter, and she's taking a selfie at the scene. There's the tagline sort of the trailer seems to be, I may be a monster, I might still be a monster, but I'm an evolving monster.
Mm-hmm.
So just it's an interesting twist on, I'm a very neat monster. I forget where I read it, and I wish I should have had the source here to back me up, but it says, and you know what? Going back, it may have been the Entertainment Weekly interview. I'm pretty sure Michael C. Hall stated he has not killed since he left Miami.
I was actually just about to ask that. Are we led to believe? I mean, because according to this trailer, we're led to believe he has not killed in what 10 years or however long
8
it's
years.
been, right?
8 years.
8 years. That's a long time for him to go without killing.
I think that's what you see, all those crosses on the calendar. Is every day he hasn't killed. And I think sort of the idea of the blood, this new serial. Again, don't take this as like what I'm saying is true. Just like I'm just putting what I think pieces together.
Okay.
There. So audio-wise, something I wanted to do, and I'm a little proud of this. And again, it's a setting in Audacity. We sort of got a cool little hint of the Dexter theme. If you listen.
I didn't hear it.
Really?
Okay.
You did.
I didn't.
You did. You just didn't realize.
I was okay. I was like, I was really listening and I couldn't hear it. Okay, cool.
So I'm playing this with. So I was able to extract the vocals from the trailer, and you'll see what I mean. I'm gonna play exactly how you hear it on the trailer here.
Nothing.
Don't be ashamed. A lot of folks get queasy at the sight of blood.
Yeah, it gets to me every time. It's a scary world out there.
I didn't notice that. That's awesome.
So I thought it was really interesting, just the way I heard it, and it's almost like man, what did they do that for? Jurassic Park. I think we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
They just do the dan dan dan, and you're like, oh my god, yes. So
Yeah.
there's a setting on Audacity that lets you remove the vocals, and it works sometimes it doesn't. So you're gonna hear the background audio is like, 1999 streaming from Napster quality, but you could hear the piano keys very clear.
Throwback.
I'm gonna try and lower it because I think that was loud. Was that really loud on your end, Colton?
It was somewhat loud, but it wasn't like, yeah.
Sorry. I'm gonna play it again. So this is again, it's the audio taken out and just sort of the theme up front.
That's my favorite part of that whole entire trailer right now.
It's really
I'm just gonna let you know.
It's really cool.
Because this is what I've talked about from the beginning. Like, why can't they? Because we know they're going to change the opening. It's not going to be him cooking eggs, cooking ham anymore. It won't happen, right? And I was saying this from the beginning. They have to change the song. You can't have the same song, but you want an essence of that song. And that was what I said. Like kind of like Jurassic Park. So stoked right now. Like this makes that alone, I can forgive everything else about the trailer right now.
When I heard it while listening to it, I was like,
I'm so upset I didn't hear that.
My mindset has been the entire time cautiously optimistic. I'm excited what I'm seeing, but I am not. There's a lot of questionable stuff, and again, one of the main thing is, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it, is sort of like, okay, so Dexter, he's not working for the police department. How is he going to get all this stuff? Don't worry, his girlfriend's working for the police department, and he's allowed to just walk into Iron Lake Metro just like you could fucking walk right into Miami Metro. So stuff like that has me concerned. As a whole,
girlfriend never realizes he's Dexter, who's probably been on the band and all of that. But whatever.
Like I said, you just and then yeah. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm excited for it. I'm just gonna withhold my thing, and low expectations, and you'll never be disappointed.
Exactly.
That being said, when they dropped that in the trailer, I was like, yep, told you Dexter's the best fucking show ever.
Fuck you, Breaking Bad, you suck. Predictable bullshit meth. Got it. Dexter rules.
I'm the one who knocks. Oh, Dexter will fucking stab you. So yeah. So one last thing, and the reason why I would bring it up, obviously, because it's a huge part of the trailer, and then something crossed my mind today that I was like, oh shit. At the end of the trailer, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago, where it didn't get 100. It got confirmed by the writer Scott Reynolds, but that Harrison's coming back. And at the end of the trailer, it ends, and Dexter's sort of aggressively walking towards someone, and the person goes, "Are you Dexter?" And he goes, "It's me, your son." And Dexter goes, "Harrison," and that's how the trailer ends. Really wish they didn't show that. I'm not going to repeat what you said, but These are just huge moments that I just wish that would have been such a huge end of episode 2 moment where, you know, then we come on the stream that night and it's like, what the fuck? Harrison's here. I don't even, whatever. Then I started thinking a little bit, and this is where you start overthinking the trailer.
Okay.
What if that's not Harrison?
That's actually what you're saying. I just like kind of clicked in my head. I was like, Harrison doesn't say he's Harrison.
Right. So
that's actually a good observation.
Because
I didn't catch it until you just said it.
And
okay.
Or yes, because you know what? It's like, and then it really got me thinking. What if Dexter did not fake his death? And this is what I mean by that. See, Jen, I just saw in the chat, Jen said a great point. What if it's Cody? What if...
Oh.
Because at the end of... And you know what? This is completely reckless speculation. I'm almost positive at the end of season 8, they never say they found his body. They found his boat. And that's how they say Dexter's dead. You know, Miami Metro, whatever. I'm 99%. I mean, obviously they don't find his body, but they say he got lost and whatever. What if between...
He's just lost at sea, if I remember right.
Right. Well, what if...
Newspaper.
What if between the 8 years... See, but then I don't know how you handle the Harrison aspect, because then it's like, well, where's your son? She's with Hannah, the fucking fugitive? Because part of me was wondering, what if they neatly tied up that Dexter didn't fake his death and he's there? See, no, you know what? This is why I shouldn't bring stuff up on air that I haven't thought out, flushed out, because then why is he living under an alias Jim Lindsay, right? Like, that part doesn't make sense. Right. How did Harrison, an 18-year-old, whatever, anywhere from 11 to 21 years old, find Dexter? Who knows? What if it's Cody? So they're just it's just, this is why I don't bring stuff up on air, but here I am bringing stuff up on air again, and then we are I feel like we're led to believe that the way Dexter disposes of bodies in this new Iron Lake is through burning, aka cremation. We kind of see him, and again, this is stuff where they do it clever, where you don't necessarily know it's Dexter, and is that Deb behind him? I am trying to fill space, and I can't, because that's all I have on the trailer. So here I am, going to the chat. Yes, what if it's Yep. The Harrison age gap, yeah, I think the cheat, like we said, is between season 7 and 8. What's up, Sean? Colton, I tried to stall as much as I could, and then he doesn't have his thing. Oh, here you go. I tried to stall, and I was like, oh my god, I have nothing. But that's fine. That. No, you're fine. You're fine. So that's basically all I have on the trailer. If you got anything else?
No, okay. Like I said, I'm not trying to be like a negative. I think I'm going into this the same that you are. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy into this. I'm trying to get like the most satisfaction that I can out of the trailer. At the same time, like I agree, I'm just like, you're releasing a lot, and so I don't want to sit there and be disappointed. But I sit and I'm just double like speaking myself on this. Hearing that like little bitty theme, that alone, had they just released that, I would have been happy. I would have been like, oh my god, you can do this! Like, let's go. 10 episodes, let's air it right now. So I'm getting a little more excited about it. I'm hoping they're not releasing too much. We still got to realize it's 10 episodes. Isn't that what they said officially?
Yeah.
So it's 10 episodes. We've literally got 5 minutes worth of footage out of 10 episodes that's been aired. So yeah, is there some things that may have been spoiled? Maybe, but at the same time, I'm also like, you know what? This is Showtime. They kind of know what they're doing. So I'm kind of going into it like you. I'm going to go into it like, look, I'm excited for it, but that's it. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting this to be the greatest television moment in the entire history of the world. But yeah, it also is probably not going to be the worst. So, because that's Game of Thrones.
What that would have, it's so funny. While you were talking in my head, I redid the trailer, and at the end, it's just like, is someone, like Dexter goes like, is someone there? And all you hear is like the theme music, like the little piano, because like that should have replaced the Aster. The Aster. I keep saying because Cody and Aster, because there's a whole other
Bastard.
there's a whole other thing to discuss there. All right, so if we're done with the trailer, we can move on to this shitbag of an episode, dress code.
Yes.
I
What's up?
have, and I could bring this back to the trailer. I have a huge problem with this episode and this turn of events with Dexter and Deb and Hannah, that I feel like it's referenced in the trailer as well, and it's probably some of what Slip was talking about in his retrospective videos.
Really quick, because before we get too much into this, and I don't want to be asking this later on, didn't they confirm the actress that plays Hannah is not in this period whatsoever at all?
There's no mention of Hannah or the actress.
Because I want to say because that was the very first speculation when this was very first going on, was they were like, well, what are we gonna do about her? Like, she died of kidney failure. I don't know why I remember that. I just remember that being a discussion at one point, and then people were like, well, what are they gonna do about Harrison? Okay. Anyways, not to go too much into that, but that's been confirmed. Hannah is not in the new, as far as we know, Hannah's not in the new season, right?
I am willing to bet she's not, because one of two ways. Okay. One, Yvonne Strahovski, huge actress. Possibly one of the biggest actresses on the Dexter seasons 1 through 8 as a whole. She's bigger than Michael C. Hall, right? Like, I think she is one of the most. So I think we would have.
I don't know who she is other than this.
Yeah. So, and I say that to say,
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be a dick. I really don't know who she is.
No, she's huge. She's huge, and okay. I feel like it would have been news if she would have been on the show.
Okay.
I also know the last episode or 2 episodes or maybe even 3 episodes, they went to studio filming. So it is very easy to get Yvonne Strahovski into a studio and not out in the open. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
You could have fucking LeBron James come in the studio, no one would know. Like, I'm just saying, like, there is a way to be quiet about it versus when you're in public, the news is going to get out and the press release. But I think she's such a huge actress that I'm not 100% sure you can do that without getting away with it. Which leads me to believe they kill her off screen. I think.
Okay.
I think. Yes, cancer or something, whatever. Or who knows? We don't know.
Better season. Okay. That's all I need to know.
Or maybe Miles Kastner isn't actually dead, comes back from this dead boat, goes, finds, and kills Hannah. Do you know who Miles Kastner is?
I have a whole joke about him actually written down.
Okay.
I haven't ruined it yet.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna lie. I have a whole joke. So yeah, go ahead.
So let's get into this episode, because this episode infuriates me, and this is where, man, that turn of a decent season into like a bad season happened so quick. Our episode 807 starts where sort of last episode ended, where Dexter just sort of wakes up after he was drugged. This episode, this spot where they wake up at, well, Dexter wakes up at, is the same spot where Mike Brown is killed at the beginning of season 7.
How did she? Okay, I gotta go and say, how did Hannah get him there? I'm gonna nitpick the fuck out of this episode.
I love that we're one line into it, and I feel like you were like, I'm not gonna nitpick. What the fuck?
How? Hannah weighs all of 98 pounds. Michael C. Hall is a jacked motherfucker, and she just picked him up and dropped him off. Bull fucking shit. I'm sorry. You carry around dead bodies for a living. How easy is that?
No, not being that. Well, you know what? I have equipment.
That's what I'm saying, but you got equipment. Right.
You know what? That is not even what infuriates me. I skip I know.
No, but that's how it starts. That's how the episode starts. It starts on such a bad premise. It starts on such a bad note.
I know.
That 98-pound Hannah carried big-ass Michael C. Hall, carried him out, not only out, put him in a thing, dropped him off, carried him in there, dropped him off. He didn't get eaten by an alligator. This is Florida, so that's bullshit. And he just wakes up all normal. No, I'm sorry. No, it doesn't happen.
This is, and if you can, Colton, keep this in mind, because I think when we start to see shots outside of Deborah's home, I think she's like far from the street. So that means she like in public had to do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
I
where Hannah comes in, where they're at, that faces the beach,
right?
Which means that they would have to carry her.
Around.
He would all the way around. So not only are you carrying essentially a dead body of Dexter around, nobody notices, nobody does any. No, I'm sorry, I'm done. No.
See, what I was gonna say is, if you're listening to this, if you're listening to this podcast. The reason why I make this podcast is because I like having podcasts where I can just go to any random episode. If I'm in the mood to listen to an episode or a review about it, I could turn that on. I know if you're someone who's stuck with us from fucking episode 1 all the way to 807, you know I am at times, and I think it's ruined the podcast at times in the earlier seasons, like way too nitpicky. I've gone so far the other way in this season because we get some really bad character stuff here that like stuff like that, it just went right over my head. I didn't even think about it. And I know
that's ruined it for me.
Yeah. Because you would think like, oh, then Miles helped her. But clearly he didn't, right? Like it's clear he didn't.
Nobody helped her because they would have told Miles.
And it would have been in the car.
That's the thing. They would have
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what killed me on this is if they had left it open, like, oh, she got a henchman to do it. Oh, cool. We get it. All right, fine. I'm okay. But nobody knows about it. Nobody knows, period. She did this. That's how the episode starts. So the episode starts on such a flawed premise. It ruins everything for me. Like, that's all I could think about. Like, I'm not even joking. 5 minutes after that episode, or that scene ends, I'm still sitting there. How the fuck did she carry him? How? It makes no sense.
So here is where
let's go.
This is my nitpick, and let me set it up because again, I don't think there's a whole lot in this episode to like chew on. Dexter calls Deb to come pick him up. They realize it was Hannah. Dexter needs to be able to find out why and how to get to Hannah. He pulls some footage, finds out that Hannah's car is rented and they're named Maggie Kastner. Mm-hmm. Dexter finds Hannah at this boat. He's able to track her down.
Okay.
This is where I just lose it. Because this is the same problem.
Okay.
This is the same problem I had with Lumen in season 5. They make it a fucking point in season 5. These Barrel Girl fucking killers are after blondes. Lumen, she wears a wig one episode. She never dyes her hair. There's no one more noticeable in public than a blonde and a ginger. Why wouldn't you dye your hair? And I say that to say, Hannah, a.k.a. Maggie, when Dexter goes to find her at the boat, in a gorgeous, because the actress and character Hannah's gorgeous, white dress, bright blonde hair.
She's not a natural blonde.
And we're talking about someone who escaped prison 6 months ago.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't think about that.
The whole thing, first of all, the whole thing that she's just still in Miami. Any city where anyone lives right now and you're listening, imagine you got arrested and you're known. People know who Hannah McKay is.
Yeah. No, she's definitely famous in this area at this time. Yeah.
She went to her local courthouse, arrested, breaks out of prison, and she's still in the same city. What are we doing? Why? And this is not even what I have problem with in this episode, but this is just something I was just like... So, here's the thing.
Why is Miles there? Because he makes his money through...
He is someone
casinos, right?
He is someone who travels. So I think he said... I think how Hannah met him was He bought flowers for a charity he was doing. They kind of hooked up, and when she broke out of prison, she got into contact with him to help him out. Why would a multimillionaire be helping a fugitive when he could, assuming have any other woman on the planet? Why would he harbor a fugitive and risk his everything? What?
The thrill. I can look past that, actually. The thrill.
And if I had any amount of money that's worth, I feel like, and I could get, and I'm saying he could get any woman he wants because of money.
Yeah.
Like, fair enough. Fine. I would not.
That's what I'm saying.
I would
like,
not think
he can get a woman. I have a serial killer. I mean, I'm not saying I would do it. I can see where it comes in, I guess. Like, okay, the thrill.
Here.
Okay.
So, man, I have to, like, there's so much I want to say, but there's so much I don't want to say. With Hannah now out, living her life, she's remarried, she's whatever. The decision Dexter had to make at the end of season 7, that he loves this woman, but he cannot risk her being out because she wants to kill Deb. That hard decision Dexter had to make is completely undone. Because what was the risk of sending her to prison if she was going to very lazily be let out like this? You get my point? Like, Dexter did not suffer any consequence.
Well, it's because Miami Metro sucks.
It's not even Miami Metro. Well, I guess it is Miami Metro because that's how she got out of prison. It's just, what was the point? The idea of when someone gets right, this show, it's being arrested, right? The Dexter being arrested was like a big thing at the end of season 7. Where's the stakes tied to anything if you can just write it out like this? Like, there's no stakes here. Hannah.
No, I agree. I agree.
Why would we even be worried in the next few episodes when there's a marshal out for Hannah? Like, there's no stakes tied to it because she's going to slip away. Dexter's not going to be concerned. It just bothers me so much that it was a huge point at the end of season 7, and Hannah is just out fucking living this luxurious life, and there was no consequences.
You can't tell me that, that's the thing, and you can't tell me that her husband isn't somebody that's somewhat known.
That's the other thing too, right? He's a fucking
so he's got to be at a place, and people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's Miles. Miles is dating Hannah. Oh my god, like she was in the newspaper. Like waiters don't read the fucking newspaper, right?" I agree.
It's very sloppy. It's I feel like we've reached the point in season 8 where you're not meant to what we're doing as a podcast, because Colton, that's all these episodes are going to be, is huge bitch fest like we're doing right now.
I know.
And I feel bad doing it because we have people joining us and joining us in the chat. And Colton, this is still not my huge gripe with this episode. It's just, I feel this is just meant to be you watch it and you don't think much about it because it is so lazy. Why not have Hannah in prison threatening Dexter that she's going to reveal who he is, and he has to help her get out of jail? Like, anything besides she got out of jail and is still in Miami as a tall, beautiful blonde. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Let's move on because I could be here.
You want to hear my joke and my biggest complaint about this whole situation?
Go ahead.
His name is Miles, and he's European.
I didn't even put that together. So what should have name been? Kilometer?
Yeah.
Kilo.
Who the fuck is it?
Kilo Kastner?
They don't do miles over there. Everything's kilometers. That literally was my biggest note. I was like, this fucker is I'm not even joking. My note is, this fucker's European and his name is Miles.
You know what? That's a great point. Is Miles short for anything? I love the name Miles.
I don't know. And it may be, and I'm going to be proven an asshole on this, but fuck him.
So I just looked it up right here. Miles is the number 2 name in Europe.
What?
No, I made that up.
Oh, I was like, what's the number one dollar?
Metric. Okay, let's get through some of this episode because there's stuff. Where are we at here? Dexter sees this Miles Kastner walking into this club. Sort of sets him off. Dexter's not in. I didn't really catch anything with the title of the episode, by the way. I couldn't really form an opinion of
No.
dress code and whatnot. So Dexter sees Miles and Hannah walking in. Dexter's not allowed in because of the dress code.
Kilometer and miles.
Kilo.
Sorry, kilometer and Hannah. Sorry.
If someone in the chat is smarter than I am to put together what this episode... I mean, I know what a dress code is, and I know Dexter's sort of on the outside. It's just, I can't form, like, what it's supposed to tie together.
Okay. Random question, actually, and not to take away from the episode. Have you ever been to a restaurant where Jessica was enforced?
The only reason why I'm going to say, I mean, yes, but I feel like I walked into the restaurant already knowing it. I didn't go like I am right now in boxers and a Los Pollos Hermanos shirt, expecting it to go into a steakhouse that I wasn't, whatever.
Right. Okay.
Is that... Go ahead.
I was like, I've been to one. It was a bar. It was a friend of mine. It was their bachelor party, and we went to this bar here in Houston that had just opened, and they turned us away because we were wearing sneakers. They were like, you have to have dress shoes. They were like, you have to have dress shoes on, no sneakers allowed. And we were like, that's some fucked up shit. We're like here to spend money. We're dressed like nice.
Right.
But we all have on sneakers except for one of our friends had on boots, and they were like, he can come in, y'all can't.
Damn.
Yeah, we were just like it was fucked up. But yeah, I was just kind of curious.
Zach pulls off like a nice move, getting him into the club. So, to your point, and please, I want to move on. I just want to bring it up. We're talking about a club that's rather, not infamous, not notorious, prestige. You need to know. You have to be a part of a club. There's a dress code, and Hannah McKay's just walking around. Whatever.
She's a plus one for the rich asshole. So
sure,
I get it.
Sure,
I get it.
Boys club.
Yeah.
Dexter finds Hannah, and Dexter, what he's really trying to find out is like why, and Hannah sort of playing coy. Something else here. You know what? This is something I doing the Dexter show. I repeat this every episode. Doing the Dexter show, you watch everything in a different lens, and it took me up until this episode to realize why I don't love the Hannah angle. And point blank, it's like I don't care if they're together. There was a sort of sweet puppy thing with like Rita, where it's like, we're still learning about Dexter, and Rita, people say she was annoying. I think she was not annoying, but that's neither here nor there.
I liked Rita. Yeah. No, me personally, I liked Rita's character.
And like
I did.
I wanted them to stay together. There's even something that like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like you can have a strong opinion one way or another on Rita, Lila, or Lumen. Like you can say like, I hate them together. I love them together.
Okay.
I don't care one way or the other, which is the worst way to be about something about Dexter and Hannah. Like,
that's a good point.
If you're fighting with your significant other, you better hope they hate you or they love you. Because if they don't care either way about you, that's really tough to come back from. That's how I feel about Dexter and yeah, right? Like that's the if you don't feel either way, I'd rather someone hate me than feel indifferent about me because you really don't matter. That's exactly I realized this episode, that's how I feel about Dexter and Hannah. I don't care. Like this isn't
fair enough. I actually
you know what
enough.
I mean? And that's what sort of like I was like, whoa, I didn't even know I felt like that this episode about Hannah. But I knew there was something always missing with Hannah. I just never knew what. And it hit me this episode. I'm just completely indifferent about her and Dexter.
Fair enough.
when Deb confronts Dexter about Hannah, I thought it was interesting the way Dexter describes Hannah and her marriage to Miles. I almost feel like it's word for word what Dexter used to say about what Rita was. And I have the audio here that I want to play because I feel like this is exactly how he talked about Rita. Let's see here.
Or maybe she just feels obligated to him.
I doubt Hannah McKay feels obligated to anyone.
But it's gotta be operational. She needs a cover life. It's not like it's a real marriage. She can't actually love this guy.
The whole thing of like being a cover up, like, we got early seasons of Dexter where Rita was a stand-in, of what just a cover, a facade. So I don't know. I found that a little interesting. This is where my huge gripe with the episode is. I almost want to save it. I'm going to save it towards the end, but this is part of it. I just want to say how fucking dumb it is that Dexter spent 5 episodes begging, doing anything he can to get Deb back. Hannah shows up and he's like, Deb, I know I really loved you and I was fucking going nuts trying to get you back into my life, but Hannah's here, so go fuck yourself. Let's save that.
It's the love of my life, Deb. God.
I noticed it, and
God damn it, you're right.
That is my huge gripe with this episode, but I want to save it to the end. I felt like this episode had weird cuts of serious Dexter and Hannah stuff, like serious drama, intercut with Dexter teaching Zach about the code. Mm-hmm. I just felt like it was very weird pacing where we got all this intense, wise Hannah here, and then it would sort of the scene would blend into Dexter trying to tame this rabid Zach who wants to kill so badly. Just off. It felt off. As on our stream here on YouTube, everyone who's watching, Dexter goes to Hannah's nursery. I like this just in terms of this bright, vibrant nursery we had in season 7 with flowers and colorful. It's all fucking run down and dirty and dead, right? That's what everything is here. And we got this is where Hannah explains how she got to Miles and why Hannah is here is because she wants Dexter to kill Miles. I always wish they used Dexter more in this way. The way Isaac Serco kind of hired Dexter as a hitman. I always wish they would have used Dexter this way. But Hannah's basically here to say I thought you've owed me one for fucking getting me arrested. Can you kill Miles for me? But then I saw you. I didn't want to put you in that position. I love you so much. Blah.
Blah. Yeah.
To our point earlier of Hannah being out, Hannah says that his whole family, Miles, thinks that she's some kind of gold digger. Mm-hmm. How many people know Hannah's out of jail? All these people know this?
I was going to say hundreds of thousands of people.
There has to be so many people.
I mean, again, his whole family's oh yeah, he's married to the serial killer Hannah McKay.
Yeah, she's a serial killer and she's out of jail. And by the way, Miles, you have crazy stupid money. Whatever, fucking.
Not only that.
Follow the code.
Okay, not only that. I'm gonna nitpick the fuck out of this episode right now.
Go ahead.
Not only that, Dexter is texting her cell phone. She didn't get a new cell phone. How are the police not tracking that?
How does she still? Yeah. Oh my. This is what I mean. That stuff. That stuff just started going over my head. And if you just start talking about it, no, you're right. You're right.
I was bad on this episode. I've been holding back. Colton's been holding back a little bit. This episode, just for whatever reason, it blew my mind. Just the amount. I guess it was because it's almost an insult to the viewers at this point.
100%. 100%.
Because she saved in his phone Hannah McKay, and he's texting I'm gonna see you tonight, and I'm how does her cell phone still work?
This is what I mean when we started out the season. Lazy writing. It's not bad writing because it doesn't take that much. Like Jen said in the chat, it doesn't take much for Hannah to be hey, I just bought this cell phone at the fucking gas station. This is my new number. Keep it on your phone or else I'll tell the police who you are. Like, that's it. That's all you have to do. And you clear up something like this, you know? Lazy. It's not bad. It's lazy. We're lazily getting all this stuff together. Dexter, I don't even know what this was about. I guess to show what danger Dexter's in. Gets like beat up by like some mafia guys.
Yeah, it's
Whatever.
I was gonna say Isaac's Hitman's, but it's not
Miles.
Isaac. So.
Miles.
Same thing at this point, like
because he's been talking to Hannah, whatnot. And again, sort of a theme this episode. And one thing I did like, to not shit on the episode too much, this is an episode where sort of Dexter just keeps, unfortunately, mistiming his time with Zach. Every time he's supposed to be with him, he gets beat up by the mafia or fucking anything like this happens. And we're talking about what we're trying to set up, but obviously Dexter gets railroaded with Hannah showing up. Is Dexter supposed to be teaching Zach the code? He's supposed to be mentoring him. Mm-hmm. I found it interesting that this is the first episode we get Harry back. You know, where he was the father to Dexter. Well, he's the mentor, and his actual stepfather. I was like, oh, okay. There is good stuff here. It's just so bad.
the portions of this episode with him are my favorite parts of this.
With Harry?
Like, I'm not even. No, with Zach.
Okay.
With Zach. Like, actually, with Zach, like, what was this? 8 years ago? Whatever it was, when Colton watched this 8 years ago, Zach, piece of shit, hated that. Could not stand that part of this thing. Zach is turning into one of my favorite parts of this season, actually. And I talked about you with this whenever I was rewatching it again a couple months ago when I was prepping for this season to do the podcast. He actually is like kind of the redeeming part of this, in my opinion, you know, and this, like, him missing him, you know, and then him getting upset when he's walking past his neighbor and he's like, yeah, tell him to fuck himself. Like, because we're going to see next episode that comes back and stuff like that. There's some parts about Zach's like story. I really like it. I actually like the actor. I really do. I think the actor's really good. It adds another complex element to making Dexter daddy and stuff like that, where he's now Harry in a way. And so it adds like these elements that makes these episodes worth it for me. Well, that's for me, at least. You know, everybody's different, but I don't know. Zach's kind of this random redeeming quality that I have so far. That's me.
I only disagree because I don't love. There's like, you know, here's what I guess I'll say. I don't think the two storylines in this episode mesh together. I feel like we're getting Dexter love and this horny to kill Zach, and they just keep missing each other. Like, I feel like they just don't fit well. It almost feels like.
See, that's what I like, because they're the same character. They're the same kid. They're both off on their own. Like, he's over here like, oh, Hannah's sexy, your neighbor's sexy, and stuff like that. And Dexter's like, oh yeah, I guess. But then Dexter's over here hot to trot with Hannah again. Like, they're kind of the same character. They're fucking each other over.
It's a good point. It's a good point. I guess I just don't like how it's executed, because it's not. I get what you're saying.
Fair enough.
And how many times have I repeated bad execution, lazy write? That's kind of where my everything is on it. Miles makes Hannah aware that he knows that she was with Dexter. Tell her the ship is leaving tomorrow, so Hannah's basically stuck with this guy forever. Dexter is kind of showing up at the same time to kill Miles, but wait, Hannah did it already. Something I wanted to play here because I mentioned it in another episode, and I want to play it here because I guess I'm banking on your memory here. They play the Trinity theme again.
Oh,
so
I didn't notice.
This is where I'm really, you know, if you had $1 for every time I said lazy this episode, you'd be Miles Kastner rich, Kilo rich. They are so they get so lazy these last 5 episodes with the music. And I have 2 examples. This first one, they are reusing the Trinity theme, which was so at its core important to the Trinity season 4. So
Absolutely.
you can tell here this is 807 because you're going to hear Miles and Hannah. And again, Colton, you may not like know what the Trinity theme is, but when you hear it, you're going to be like, okay, that's the Trinity theme,
right?
Here.
That's unnecessary.
You've made it necessary.
No, please don't hurt him.
Don't hurt him. Why? Because you love him.
No, I promise you I'm not ever going to see him again.
It's the reason you insisted on coming with me tonight.
I tried to run, but just grabbed me.
Did you not notice that's the Trinity theme?
I didn't. It's one of those I don't catch it until you like mention it, and I'm like, oh my god, you're right, it is.
So if you like literally Google like introducing Trinity, or there's like a Trinity suite, it's all over the season 4 soundtrack. It's just that theme that like.
I need to memorize that because I know for a fact. Well, I don't know for a fact, but I'm 99% certain it will be used in the new season, just because of what we've been told.
Sure,
so far,
sure. So I just like you're cheapening that amazing score from season 4. I think it's actually literally in the season 4, episode 1 opening moments.
Okay.
So Dexter and Hannah sort of make up, helps her dispose of Miles, and we kind of see here that Deb is tailing them. Let me. I've bitched so much that I'm out of bitching tokens, but
I will bitch away. Give it to me.
This is what drove me crazy, is that we spent 5 episodes, meaning episode 6, Dexter and Deborah were okay. You know, there wasn't really much fighting, but Dexter spent those 5 episodes fucking begging Deb to be in his life. Dr. Vogel, help me. Calling his cell phone, showing up at our work. I think you were having sex with this guy. Let me kill him. I thought you were in danger. I'll do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I need Deb in my life. Hannah shows up and he's like, forget that. I didn't really love you. I didn't really need you in my life. Hannah's actually more important. The person who tried to kill you, yeah, I think I need to make sure she's okay and be with her. Hold on, there was one other thing, and oh yeah, by the way, she's a fugitive. Like you can be. Remember when you were yelling at Deb about you left my son an orphan? Where does harboring a fugitive, or knowing you have a fugitive out there, where does that rank on you could have left my son an orphan? And that's what kills me about this season. What was the point of Dexter so badly needing Deb in his life for an episode and a half later to be like, Deb, fuck your feelings. I'm about Hannah now.
Well, not only that, but I have it in my notes, so I don't remember the exact, like, how this scene goes about exactly. But at one point, Deborah is talking with Dr. Vogel about Dexter and about what's been going on. And Dr. Vogel essentially makes Dexter out to be the savior. Like, well, if it wasn't for him, you would be in this situation and you'd be this. The fuck? Dexter's a savior?
Oh,
like,
they had,
really?
Yeah, they made him the entire time. Remember, she was saying, like, you can't, Dexter did what he did because that's who he is. And we're not here to discuss that. Deborah, you have to fix yourself. It's like, wait. We're talking about a fucking psychopath.
Dexter's been out here to save himself.
Right.
Had Dexter killed himself last season, Deborah wouldn't have killed LaGuardia, and everything right now would be absolutely fine. Like, I'm sorry, but what Vogel is doing in that situation is not only is it unprofessional, but it's just extremely, like, it's asinine. It's ass backwards.
Yeah.
You're making Dexter out more than what he is. Again, that's a complaint, though, about the show at this point.
It just infuriates me, this complete 180 of Dexter needing Deb so bad. And again, it just makes Dexter suffer no consequences. He had a
Yeah,
fucking
that's exactly
beg.
that's
He had
exactly
to
it.
beg to get Deborah back. He got her. All of a sudden, Hannah's here. It just, why would you? Whatever. I've said my piece. Our episode ends with a crime scene at Dexter's apartment.
Oh.
Go ahead.
One more. Before we get to that, because you didn't touch on this, and this is something I actually think maybe it may not be that important, but for some reason I took a note on it. So because we were just talking about Deborah. So Deborah and Elway, they're working their stuff and things like that. They have a huge fight because Deborah's in there like looking up Hannah McKay. This obviously comes into play later on. But Elway also has this like entire meltdown with Deborah about like, I gave you this great job. I gave you great benefits. He's like, you're a fucking bitch. And so my whole thing when I was watching this, I'm sitting there like, well, fuck Elway. Like, dude, you're a piece of shit. Like, why are you yelling at your employee that way? But at the same time, I'm like, well, fuck, Deborah is also like sitting here using company resources and using all of her stuff on company time, knowing full well why she's looking up Hannah McKay, because she just got poisoned by Hannah McKay. And I guess when I was doing these notes, I was kind of like, well, who's in the right on this? Like, I want to sit there and say, well, like, Elway's an asshole. Like, you can't treat your employees like this. You can't sit there, get your employees to get dressed up to go and having a fake affair with your sister's boyfriend and doing all this stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, well, Deborah, you're also fucking over your employer for helping you out too, because you do have a lead on something. Absolutely, you have a lead on something, and that is something that would make this company money. But you're going to come off as an asshole. I don't know. It was a weird, I don't know, like a weird paradox that I got. And so I was just like, I don't know. It was just something I kind of saw, and I was curious about your opinion on it. Like, yeah.
You're not wrong. I think where the weird line is drawn is that, like, it's like Deb says, like, hey, what are you looking at there? And Deb's like, nothing. And he's like, no. What are you looking at? And he gets fucking this close to her.
Right up on her.
So I definitely think, and like, so that's where it's like it gets weird and it gets into the inappropriate side of things, because like, would he have done that to a male employee or another employee he wasn't interested in?
Fair enough, yeah.
So there's all of that, because there's also, part of Elway earlier in the season, he could clearly see Deb's going through something and he's trying to help her. So I think in the end, and I don't know what this says about me, but I think in the end, the employer, if you're using if you're using workplace resources, your employer has the right to know what you're working on.
Okay.
So, and I'd imagine, see, this is, let me nitpick for 5 seconds and I'll come right back.
Yeah.
Why not just search her history of what she's looking at if you're that concerned? Okay, back to it. So I think if she's using if that's a company laptop and that, I feel like he does have the right to be like, hey, what are you looking at? It may be uncomfortable, but like, I feel like in the end, he's right. Because if not, hey, Deb, do this shit at your own time at your own house. I'll shop on eBay at work. I'll fucking look on Amazon. I don't even know what I'd be doing that's so personal at work that I can't do at home, but whatever. If there's stuff I don't want, like whatever, I don't do it on the work computer. You know what I mean? So that's where I tend to side with Elway, but you got to throw in the whole angle of he likes her. He's attracted to her, so.
No, that's where I was like, that's where I guess I have that weird conundrum on this, where I'm like, well, I know that he likes her. I know he has a thing for her, and there's already been last episode, I would consider what was going on was an inappropriate use of your work. Right? Because it's definitely affecting family and things like that. But at the same time, when I'm watching this, I'm like, well, yeah, but Deb, you're also fucking up. You're also doing your company work for something that literally could benefit your company. That would be like,
it's illegal. It's a fugitive.
But that would be like you online sitting there looking like, oh, well, I'm a funeral director. Let me look up these people that have recently passed away, knowing I could get them as business, but saying, oh, well, I could do this where they go to somebody else. And I don't know.
Yeah, I get your point.
It's not the exact same thing. I don't know.
I get your point. Yeah.
Something about the whole thing just was really weird to me. It just rubbed me really wrong, I guess. And it was on both aspects of it. That's why I was like, I really kind of wanted to like bring it up before we ended the episode, because again, this is going to be an effect later on because we know where Elway's going to be going here in an episode or two. So
yeah, I left out all the Deb stuff only because I was so furious with the other stuff that I was just like, God, whatever. Our episode ends with there's a crime scene at Dexter's apartment, and we find out it's poor Cassie, who I actually enjoyed because she felt a little bit more real than the other characters in the show. Just even like that little conversation she has with Deb. Here I am leaving the Deb stuff out, where she's like, hey, what's up with Dexter? And we are led to believe it's Zach, just sort of the way that's the last person we see with Cassie. We get the ever so mention that like, hey guys, don't forget Oliver is a character in this show. Don't forget about him. And that's the way our episode ends, and this is another thing where I feel like we have more to discuss next episode when they actually address this.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to bring up about this, and I said I was going to bring it up earlier, is the use of music.
Okay.
I believe this piece is called Wink, and it's used 1,000 times within the Dexter show. I remember watching this live being like, okay, Cassie died. Next to Dexter's apartment, that's the second person within however many months someone's died in next to Dexter's apartment, because you have fucking Sal Price from season 7 died in Dexter's apartment. And we're talking about...
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, can you... Whatever. And it felt so... I felt it. And again, maybe this is just me. It just felt so lazy because they end the episode and they start the next episode. And even before the scene I'm playing, they have the same music and it just keeps restarting almost as if it's on repeat. So I'm going to play it here. This is the end of this episode and the start of the next episode.
Okay.
These two pieces are cut together, but it's just the same tired, good, but tiring music.
Whatever Hannah and I have? Or will it always end the same way? Like this? Every contact leaves a trace. That idea is the foundation of all crime scene analysis.
So it's just that you could tell where it starts with every contact leaves a trace, and that's actually a little bit of a theme in the next episode, but it just feels lazy. Again, I'm really doing the podcast this season is really letting me flush out why I didn't. I never knew why I didn't like season 8. There was always like, I know there's like the big stuff, but like I'm really like grinding to the core of why this season is so bad, and it's fucking lazy. It's all I have to say.
It is. No, I will never disagree with you on that. It is 100% lazy. Let me think how to word this. We're currently at over 50% of the season, and if you take today's episode and take episode 1, there's literally nothing in common other than Dexter. That's it. Or okay, Deb kind of.
No. In terms of themes and where and everything. Yes, I get your point, and I agree.
But by doing that, how we got to this point is extremely lazy. It's just saying, hey, we'll do this. Well, how did that happen? I don't fucking care. Just make it do it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You know, like that's what has annoyed me. Because again, this guy right here, I like him. You could have had him from the beginning. Yeah. And you could have had a character longer that actually maybe would have added some depth to this show. But no, let's bring him on, 3 episodes before he dies. Spoiler. And I don't know.
I'm with you. Do you have anything else on this episode before we close this out?
No, because I'm just gonna become a bitch fest. So.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess one last thing, and then Masuka sees his daughter's tits.
By the way,
Oh man, I wanted to end the episode, and you're not caring.
No,
I'm trying to make that a
no,
thing.
because I can't.
failed.
Because
I
there
failed.
was point. I am all for nudity if it works into the show. That is pointless nudity. That's all that was. That was pointless nudity. That was Showtime being a bitch is what that was. And I will say that to the max. I do not care. It was horrible. Like that whole aspect, everything about that ruined that whole storyline. It was done. I hated it. Maybe it's because I have a daughter. I don't know. Hated it. It was pointless nudity. And I'm all for tits being out there in the TV show. Game of Thrones, awesome. That was sucky. Like it was bad.
To add to your thing. If it exists, please link me, post on our page. I wish I had more money because I would say I'll give you $5 if you could find it. Find me a topless sports bar. Does that exist?
A restaurant. I've never heard of this. I have never heard of this.
A strip club that serves food and drinks, sure, but it's a gentleman's club. If you could find a sports bar restaurant that
like a Hooters, but they don't have the outfits,
yes,
right?
Yes,
that's what you're looking for. Never heard of that ever.
So why did they make that for this? Like
to show her tits.
Oh, God.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
It was to show her boobs. That's all that this was, and that's what makes me so mad. Like you want to add nudity to get like so. That's what Game of Thrones had for it. You know, Game of Thrones showed dong. Like, hey, we're showing dong, we're showing tits and stuff like that. Hey, okay, like it kind of works into the story because they were the whole hedonistic and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. No, Dexter has shown boobs in the past. Whatever. Adding in Masuka's daughters was stupid. They literally were just like, hey, we got this attractive actress. She kind of looks kind of cool. Hey, let's show her boobs. Cool. Write it into the script. Bam. Done. Again, lazy, horrible ass writing.
We are in a very deep decline.
I'm sorry, dude.
No.
I'm sorry.
I hope if you've listened to this episode and if you stayed to this part of the end, I hope you feel that it was warranted. Because what I am trying to find a person, and I have a few feelers out there, because I'm trying to fill these episodes as we get towards the end of season 8 with some filler, because I can't just talk just about the episode. I'm trying to find someone who genuinely thinks and can sit here and talk with us and defend everything that we are bitching about.
Do not play devil's advocate.
No, I don't. If you play devil's advocate, it's like I could do that. I could sit here and defend it. I want you to truly think what we're watching is quality television, and you could defend things like Dexter needing his sister 2 episodes later doesn't need her. A retconned psychopath therapist who all of a sudden is Dexter's mother.
That's what I'm really
Everything
excited
else.
about. Oh, because you haven't finished Slipmaker's
No.
episode. I'm very curious to have him on next week because of his view on the ending.
Yep.
Watch it. It's very good. I'm excited. I am so excited to have him on.
That'll be interesting. Yeah. So with that being said, your homework for the week is watch Slipmaker's Dexter YouTube video. So next week we could have some. I feel like next week
super good conversation,
and I feel like it's going to be more of a Dexter as a whole conversation. I'm hoping, and I think next week's episode is just as terrible, that we can just do 20 minutes on the episode and let's really talk about his project as a whole.
Yes.
So with that being said, we will talk to you next week to discuss 808. Are we there yet? All right, I'm stopping recording. Leave Zencast. I can't, but that's the longest episode we ever did, man.
How long was that? I feel like it went long.
An hour and 25.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think maybe our season 7
25
ending.
minutes of it is us bitching.
I think an hour is us bitching.
Me interrupting.
And it's just 25 minutes of
25 minutes of quality content.
Oh no, our season 7 finale was an hour and 56 minutes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but we did 2 episodes in one, if you remember.
Oh yeah,
we,
that's true.
We kind of we were like, yeah, let's just get this over with.
I forgot about that.
There was stuff in the chat. Let's see.
See here.
Yeah, it's
Jen talking about
Go ahead.
burner phone. I don't.
That's where I brought it up. And if I ever bring up in the episode, because I have my iPad to the side here, so like I'll see like something pop up, and if I feel like I could throw it in the conversation, I feel like every time I give credit, because I don't ever want to be like,
oh, I didn't see Roxanne was on. Hey,
what
Roxanne.
about a burner phone? Like I feel like I'm giving Jen credit anytime I see something or anyone. There was actually a really funny joke, and it was from that guy, but I think he left. I have to find it here.
I don't see her having a burner phone. Burner phones don't. This is where I'm getting super nitpicky. Burner phones are not going to work in South America where she's supposedly living and stuff like that. I don't know. The whole thing.
She meant burner phone for why does Dexter have her old phone? Like why is she texting? Why is she texting her phone? Like how did the police not confiscate that?
Okay, I see what.
And then I brought it up. I said that's why Jen said like, yeah, if she would have just told Dexter I have a new phone, it kind of would have been a little bit more.
Yeah, but she never said that, and that's what I don't
Right.
like. Like you could have completely. Yeah, no.
Hold on 1 second. I have to download all the tracks here. Oh no, it's not downloading yet. That's mine. I'm downloading the soundboard. My shit might get all real choppy. I'm downloading your audio.
Exactly, Jen. That's what we're saying. It's all just the easy ass rating. I don't know.
Hold on.
There's, like I said, there's definitely some like things about this episode that I do like.
I don't think I liked anything, man.
Like I said, I like Zach. Like but I think it's not this episode in particular. It's knowing what he becomes next episode, and it's also in my head. It's thinking his potential, and that's what I like about the character of Zach. Is I think that Zach had a lot of potential, and so that's why I'm like, okay, like, but that's it. Like, Zach's only in the episode for what, 5 minutes. So an episode that's an hour long, I like 5 minutes of it. That's not good. Like, I mean,
oh man. Well, I'm hoping I have to finish this. I think I have a few questions. I think this is us having an on-air conversation. I think an on-air meeting. I think I'm gonna put a bunch of questions, send it to you. If you have questions you want to add to that, you add it. And basically, I want to both have the same sheet. So, as the conversation is going, like one of us will take one of the questions. You know what I mean? Instead of like you randomly asking something that like you know what I'm trying to say? Like, so we're on the same page.
Yeah. For next week.
Yeah. Just to ask him. Because I don't even know, like, I feel like I've never really done an interview, so it's like, I don't know how to do one. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, see, I did the one with Eureka Heights with the Brewers.
Right.
Yeah, what I did with them was I had my questions lined down, and I told Como, I was like, I want you to, and it was basically what that was, is I asked the first 2 questions. I told Como to ask the third question, and then I was asking the final question that I had about the brewing, like owning a brewery and stuff like that,
Right.
that process. But I had questions already lined out what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, so I just want to go, again, I want to finish it. I started clipping stuff from his thing, but it's so long that I don't know if I'm going to have. There's like so many good stuff he says that I just start writing stuff down. But I have to like go back and clip it.
I also gave them the questions the day in advance.
Oh,
personally.
You gave them. Okay, so I guess I'm. You know what?
Because I'm not here to make like explosive journalistic, interviews and stuff like that. And I don't want like you to ask. When I was interviewing them, like one of the questions I had was it was a thing about their. This is, oh my god, this is so nerd beer talk, but their wraps on their labels and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, baby girl. It's completely different than a lot of breweries and stuff like that. And so I asked them about that, but I didn't want them to be like, well, I can't tell you that, because
Yeah.
of like copyright and things like that. So I was like, let me like send them these questions in advance. And they were like, oh yeah, they're like, that's really cool you asked that. Most people don't notice this. And so, oh my goodness, you completely broke it. Oh, but that was me personally.
No,
I sent them the questions a day in advance.
That's a good idea. I'll get that. I'll get that stuff. I'll try to get it out during the week then.
You want to say hi? You don't want to say hi?
Grace, you
Look
have
who's waving.
thousands of fans out there.
Oh, Mama Kenny got me.
Someone's in trouble.
Are you in trouble? Are you still awake? It is, Gracie. It is 10:30. Still awake. You ready for bed? No. You got a tum tum. Stop.
Very excited.
Okay. All right. Well,
I think we're good. I got all my
Yep.
tracks. Roxanne, Sean, Jen, you guys are the Mount Rushmore of reasons why we do the live show.
no, it is. This
Yeah.
is the best part of this. So, okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go play with her for the next, I don't know why, 30 minutes, and let's see if I can get her to go to
No.
sleep. So,
Thank you, and we'll talk during the week.
all right. Talk to y'all later.
Everyone else, Sean, Jen, Roxanne, Sean, John, Roxanne, whoever else is here. Yes, thank you all, and we'll talk to you.
Later.